question. Why does a cataract surgery cost 10,000 rupees in a government hospital and can cost up to 1,50,000 rupees in a private hospital? Now, this question is at the core of an interesting debate, an interesting issue that has arisen before the highest court of the country, the Supreme Court. Now, this issue came to light by way of a PIL that was filed by an NGO called the Veterans Forum for Transparency. This PIL essentially raised the question as to why there is a huge divergence in the rates charged by private hospitals as compared to government hospitals. And for relevance, what they've done, what they've cited is Rule 9. Rule 9 of the Clinical Establishments Rules. What that effectively says is that all hospitals are required to display conspicuously for the benefit of the end user, which is the patient and their families, is required to display the rates. And these rates, importantly, will be within a prescribed band. The band will be prescribed by the centre in consultation with the states. The PIL points out that these rules have been in effect for the last 14 years and yet no action has been taken. Now, what's important is that while hearing this PIL in the month of February, the Apex Court had asked the centre to come out with an action plan for deployment of Rule 9. And to that end, had said that if the centre passes on the buck to the states, if the centre does not take the initiative for implementation of this Rule 9 for fixation of hospital rates, the Supreme Court will consider the prayer that has been made in the PIL for on an interim basis implementing the CGHS rates across hospitals. Now, that is something that spooked the sentiment as far as the healthcare industry is concerned. And in response, today we saw a whole slew of applications being filed by associations of doctors, by associations of hospitals. What are these doctors and hospitals seeking? Well, clearly, they are batting in the top court as per their latest petition, which was taken up today. They are batting against fixation of rates. What these doctors and hospitals are essentially arguing is that we cannot have a one-size-fits-all approach. In fact, Hari Salve, who was appearing for one such association, argued that if India is to host the cutting-edge technology in healthcare, then it needs investors. But if there is such fixation of rates, that will jeopardize the return on investments, that will keep the investors away from Indian shores. Not just that, the Doctors Association submitted that they welcome more regulation. Regulation just as there is for the stockbroking space, for the insurance space, for chartered accountancy, for lawyers. They welcome more regulation, but this regulation cannot mean fixation of rates. And to that end, the host of petitions filed by doctors and hospitals have challenged this Rule 9 of the Clinical Establishment Rules, have challenged the power of the centre to fix these rates. Now, what's interesting are the observations that fell from the Apex Court. In the first hearing, which was in the course of the PIL, at the time the Supreme Court was critical of the centre as to why Rule 9 had not been implemented. Today, the Apex Court struck an entirely different chord. It made some interesting prima facie observations. It observed that the hospital rates are to be determined only by market forces, that doctors are free. For one doctor may charge 100 rupees, the other may charge 10,000 rupees, going on to say that will the lawyers welcome any such prescriptive formula for fixing of rates, and also going on to say that if these rates are fixed, it could lead to underhanded tactics being adopted by hospitals. So clearly, a balancing act is what the Apex Court is required to do. For now, the Supreme Court has issued notice on the whole batch of applications challenging fixation of rates and has said that the centre needs to respond to these fears, apprehensions and challenges, and this case will be taken up for further hearing on September 10th.
Make informed decisions with comprehensive analysis on the go.
Strengthen your portfolio with real-time market updates on the go. Create effective strategies with insightful expert opinions on the go.
Grow on the go with CNBC-TV18, now streaming live 24/7 on YouTube.
For more news and updates, all you need to do is follow CNBC TV18 on all of our digital platforms.